Hello and welcome back. In this video I will present to you a new panel which we have just added to EDAP Tools version 7.3. To open it in Animate, go to Window, Extensions and then Tween Manager. In Flash it is Window, Other Panels and again Tween Manager. Tween Manager is an interactive panel which lets you apply, save and manage ease presets for classic tweens. It also lets you take full advantage of the more relaxed tween model in Animate, where you can have anticipations and overshoots as part of your ease graph. And this is what I will start this demonstration with. I will create a keyframe here for the bunny and change his pose a little bit with Kinematics by making him squat a little bit, raise the arms a little bit and lower the head and even squash it a bit. Then I will select the frame span and click on a thumbnail in the panel. As you can see, these are thumbnails showing the ease graphs, and under each one of these there is a descriptive name. So it comes with a certain amount of entries, and then you can save your own and apply them. Now I'll scroll down to find an ease graph which is called back in out, which actually has an anticipation and an overshoot built in, and click on the thumbnail. You see the frame span was converted to tween spans, and if I drag the playhead we will see that the character starts going up first and then squatting, goes beyond the endpoint and up. So there is an anticipation and overshoot built into this curve. Now let's see how this graph is represented in the default ease graph editor. The antic and the overshoot are clipped because the graph is limited within the bounding box of this working space. So the second thing that I will do is introduce another extremely powerful tool by clicking on this button here while obviously the tweens are selected. This is EDAP Ease Graph Editor, a feature-rich replacement of the default ease graph editor of Flash and Animate, where you can actually zoom out and in to work with your ease graphs, and you can pan the view. Now, to accentuate the anticipation and overshoot a little bit further, I will create a new anchor point by clicking on the curve, and then using my scroll wheel I will zoom out so that I can edit these endpoints here, and I'll push the anticipation a little bit more, and I will push the overshoot a little bit more. Now there will be a dedicated video about the ease graph editor. This is not going to be the focus of this presentation. I'm just showing you this new powerful feature as well. So I'll hit apply, and now we can scrub and see that the anticipation and the overshoot are way more pronounced. Now if we're happy with this preset, we can just click on the tween to select it and then click on the plus button, and this will be saved as a preset which we can then apply to any other frame span or tween. I will go back to that, but now let's look at the panel itself. The panel itself consists of a bunch of predefined ease graphs represented by thumbnails, and at the end of the list there are these special thumbnails which are color coded in orange and have a little P in the upper left corner. These are procedural, which let you convert tween spans to animation on 2s, 3s, a custom number, and this one we'll call the stagger tween command. I will go through these a little later. Your own saved entries will have either a black graph representing them or a white, depending on the theme of the interface. Now, what can you do to customize the view of the panel? You can click on the three dots at the bottom right hand corner and choose settings. You can hide the labels, you can always show the scroll bar, and you can change the size of the thumbnails. Let's type 50 here and go OK. Now it's way more compact. You can also interactively change the size of the thumbnails by holding down Control and using the scroll wheel of your mouse. Now let me show the names again. The ones that you have saved yourself have a three-dot button here at the bottom right-hand corner, which will let you customize their name. So I can call this Antique Overshoot. When you hover over the name, it will be shown in the status bar of the panel. Now let me show you the different types of presets that you can save. I'll remove this tween, create it again, and give it a simple ease of 100, and save this one as well. You see that because this is a simple ease, you will get a number here in the top left of your thumbnail, which indicates that it's a simple ease, and it gives you the number as just a visual clue. You can also save your own presets, and of course, just like with EDAP commands and our other panels, you can export your presets to files and import. One more thing, of course, which I nearly forgot, is that you can rearrange the thumbnails by holding down Shift and dragging them around. If you want to delete a thumbnail, you Shift drag it and drop it over the bin icon. Now let me delete these three, and then I will save my own preset. So I'll just call it my. And then if we open the presets dialog, you see this is my preset, and these are the default ones which are included, like procedural only or my own. Okay, now let's look at what we can do with the presets. Let me go in outline mode and show these just like that, so that we can actually see everything all the time and apply a preset. So we can select 4 spans with a block selection, and if I click on 100% ease, you will see this entry was applied to all the sections. All of these basically became tweens with 100% ease. Now we can do the same with any of these, so it will affect all of these. If I remove this keyframe so that we can see better, we can just to illustrate that just as a single click will apply any of these saved presets to the whole tween spans. Okay, now let me show you how you can do a split properties tween. Let me make these ease of 100, and then I will create a stagger tween, just the default stagger. Now let us look at the graph here. This is the stagger graph. I will zoom out a little bit so that I can see it better and copy the graph. I will unlink the properties and animate them separately. So I'll paste stagger here over the color and make it even more pronounced. I actually wanted to blink, so I'll drag these up and down like that. Rather than having them do other things. And I will give this an ease out. And let's do something else for the rotation so that it goes the other way, or even with a little bit of an anticipation. Okay, now if I apply this, I'll give this square a rotation so that we can track the rotation, and I will give it a tint. Okay, now what we see here is that the movement, the translation is, it moves with an ease out. Rotation happens with an anticipation, so it goes the other way and finally it just rotates clockwise, and all the time it blinks because we have separated the values. Now let me save this as a preset. See, because the different graphs are split, it's not a uniform tween. See, the properties are animating separately. This is indicated by a little triangle at the top left corner. We can apply the same thing to the other animation just to test. There we go. Our keyframe does not rotate and we don't have the tinting. That's why it looks different. Let me tint it. And now you see they're both blinking and they both rotate in the same way. Now let me go back to the bunny and say a few words about the procedural tweens. Let's select a frame across all of these and press the ontos. Now what happened? Let's look at the graph. So this is how the graph looks like a staircase. What this means is that the animation will work on twos and there will be a change in pose on every second frame. This is it. Instead of having to generate keyframes for every other frame in the tween span, which has been the traditional way of converting animation on twos, you can now do it with this procedural ease graph. And it can, of course, be done on threes as well. Now I'll apply the ease of plus 100 and click on this other thumbnail, and again we can inspect the graph. That's what we get, and now the animation happens on every third frame. Now what's very important to understand about the procedural tweens is that because of their specific nature, the different stairs in the staircase need to perfectly match the frame numbers in your tween spans. So you can't just retime a procedural tween. If you need to retime your animation, like for example just making it happen over fewer frames, you will need to go to a normal ease and then make it procedural again, because otherwise those stairs won't match perfectly the frame numbers. But this is all very easy, and it's still much better than having to deal with tens of keyframes. Of course, because it is still a Tween, you can adjust your poses and everything will be dynamically updated. So here I will just change the pose a little bit. And there you go. So this is so much more flexible compared to an animation which is all keyframed, where you can't really change anything because the in-betweens will need to be regenerated again. So pose adjustments are perfectly fine, and if you need to retime, all you need to do is basically when you retime. Now if we look at the graph, you will see how those stairs of the staircase don't match the frame numbers anymore. So you will go to ease 100 and then just recreate the procedural tween, and now the staircase will be perfect again. So on every second frame the animation will happen. Now, just to finish this demonstration, I will show you a little animation that I did while exploring the possibilities of anticipations and overshoots. I'll play it back first. During my practice as an animator, I've developed the habit of starting with actually double antics, and this is what we have here. Like, we have an actual anticipation key which has a graph with anticipation. So the graph goes down and up like this. So we are anticipating the anticipation, because I want to have full control over my antic pose. And then we have an overshoot like this when we settle into the second key. Now, because the movement of the leg that goes up in the air is much more dynamic, I decided to animate it separately and not include it into the automatic overshoot. So I think this is a very good hybrid approach, where actively moving parts, you want to have like full control over these, while the squashy, stretchy bits that just make the character alive can be achieved with an automatic overshoot graph. For the sake of this demo, save this and call it overshoot. And now we can go to this other file and apply the overshoot. There you go. This is how it looks with these two rectangles. Or we can apply it to our bunny. So you can really create your own beautiful entries and then reuse them. And you can, of course, create a perfect set with as many thumbnails as you need, and save it and even share it with colleagues and friends. So this is it. I hope that this presentation has given you an idea how powerful the new Tween Manager panel and the new Ease Graph editor are, and you will be able to incorporate them in your workflows. Thanks for watching.